Over the years of offering our MMIs, we've gotten a lot of questions. Some frequent questions, if you will. So here's a list of frequently asked questions and their answers about our line of wireless CarPlay and Android Auto MMI Primes, Pros, and the Prime and Pro LCIs. Welcome back. I'm Dylan with BimmerTech. If you're watching this video, chances are you've at least heard about our MMI Prime and Pro and the MMI Prime and Pro LCI. It's the perfect way to integrate Apple CarPlay and Android Auto into your BMW, Mini, Rolls-Royce, or Supra. You also get so much more with screen mirroring, USB audio and video playback, HDMI capabilities with the Pro, and so much more. Installation is 100% plug and play and completely reversible. We have tons of installation videos, overview videos, and feature highlights on our channel, but today we're going to be focusing on just the frequently asked questions that we've been getting over the years. So let's get right to it. What is the difference between the MMI Prime and Pro? In short, the MMI Pro has all the features that the MMI Prime does, such as wired and wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, camera integration, and USB audio and video playback. However, the Pro has the addition of an HDMI port, which allows for almost limitless possibilities, and more on how we prove that a little bit later. What is the new LCI model? The MMI Prime and Pro LCI is the newest member of the MMI family, and they have all the same features of the MMI Prime and Pro. However, it is much faster, much more powerful, and much easier to connect to than ever before. Now, we have a full video on the LCI linked in the description, but it is so much better in every way and is one of my favorite products that we offer. Can I use both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay? Absolutely. Both the MMI Prime and Pro as well as the LCI variants support wired and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can even pair multiple phones. With the MMI LCI, it will auto-switch between Apple CarPlay and Android Auto depending on which paired phone it detects. If you have two or more phones using the same operating system, you'll just have to select which phone you want manually. For the non-LCI variants, you will have to manually select which phone you want if two or more are detected at the same time. Does it support wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay? Yes, it does. Certain older Android phones might not support wireless, but our MMIs certainly do. This connects via an aux port. What if my car doesn't have one? Older head units such as CIC have a physical aux port, and your MMI's harness will come with a cable that must be connected to it. However, if you have a newer vehicle that does not have an aux port, such as anything past CIC head units, and you don't see an aux input in your iDrive sources, we'll code an imaginary aux port into your BMW. Now, this will trick your BMW into thinking it has an aux port. While you won't have an actual aux port, you still will have a physical connection to the back of your head unit, and the aux will just be the new input source. It's easier on the back end to have it just labeled as aux, since BMWs used to have them. Can I just use Bluetooth audio? Yes, all non-LCI MMI variants using software version 3.3.4 or higher will have Bluetooth capabilities, as well as all the MMI LCI variants. This will allow you to play audio through Apple CarPlay and Android Auto via a Bluetooth connection, bypassing the DSP or audio processing of the MMI and relying solely on your BMW's audio processing power. If you do plan on using the USB or HDMI ports as well as screen mirroring, you will need to use the aux audio function. How do I connect my phone if I'm using Bluetooth? You will have to make sure that you pair your phone to both your BMW in the iDrive settings as well as your MMI. The biggest thing to double check on the iDrive settings is to make sure that on your paired device, you have checked off and enabled Bluetooth capabilities, meaning the checkboxes to audio streaming and allow phone calls is selected. If you don't double check this and make sure it's enabled, you won't hear anything. We do have a full video on this linked in the description to show you that process. How do I update my MMI? One of the best parts about having our MMIs is the free updates. All you have to do is check what software version you have on your MMI, enter those numbers into our site, linked in the description, and see if there's an update available. If there is, download that update onto a flash drive and follow the steps on our update video to bring your MMI up to date. At the time of making this video, all MMI LCI variants are up to date. So if you're looking for an update on our site and encounter an error message, don't worry about it, your MMI is good to go. Is it compatible with my car? We get this one all the time, and in each video, we say head on over to our site and enter your VIN. We don't just say this to push you to our site, we need that VIN. Even if you say something like, well, I have an F30. Well, the short answer might be yes, but which kit depends on which head unit you have, and we can only determine that once we get your VIN. Other chassis have suggested parts such as video extension cables, which we'll get to in a bit later. But in short, please head on over to our site and enter your VIN. Will navigation work on my heads-up display? Unfortunately, no. Not even factory Apple CarPlay will work with your heads-up navigation, except for some newer BMWs with MGU head units. Does it support touchscreen? At the moment of making this video, touch is not supported on your iDrive screen, but it is something we're working on. Can I use my steering wheel, iDrive controller, and voice to control it? Absolutely! Regardless of which head unit you have, these controls can be used to interact with your MMI, and certain controls such as the wheel on your steering wheel can be programmed to function differently depending on how you want. You can even use the factory BMW mics to interact with Siri and Google Assistant. For a full list of what all these controls do, go check out our guide video linked in the description. How do I connect my phone to the MMI? Connecting is easy with the non-LCI variants and super easy with the LCI Prime and Pro. Now, to keep this video on the shorter side, we're just going to link you to the two videos on how you do that in the description of this video, one for the non-LCIs and one for the LCIs. What can I hook up to the HDMI port on the MMI Pro? This is where things get fun. Anything can be plugged into the HDMI port as long as you can get power to it. Things that require a small amount of power, like a Roku, can be plugged into the USB port of the MMI. Things that have an onboard battery, such as a laptop, well, all you need to do is plug in the HDMI cable. But what about something bigger, such as a PS5? Well, as long as you can get power to it, you can do it. And we just so happen to have a video on that, and you guessed it, it's linked in the description. How do I install it? Installation intensity depends on the BMW model and which head unit you have. While the installation for all of them is pretty much the same, remove some trim, remove the head unit, plug it into the head unit, put the head unit back, put the trim back. Some BMWs have more trim, some BMWs have tighter spaces, and vehicles with CIC head units involve removing some more trim because you do have to run some extra cabling. While we do try to make everything as straightforward as possible to keep this video on the shorter side, go check out some of the other videos on our YouTube channel to see what installations might look like in your BMW. Does the MMI come with a screen? MMIs do not come with screens. They are designed to work with factory BMW screens of any size. Now, if you do want a larger screen or perhaps a replacement of your damaged screen, we offer all of that as well, depending on your VIN. What are the video extension cables? Earlier, we mentioned these extension cables. There are certain BMWs that have factory video cables that are just too obnoxious to remove, and the placement of the MMI makes connecting the cables not impossible, but annoying as heck. These particular BMWs, which we have listed on our site, will greatly benefit from these optional cables. So if during your checkout you see the optional add-on for these extension cables appear, I'd highly suggest picking these up to make the installation so much easier. So there you have it. Those are some of the most frequently asked questions about our MMIs. Have any more questions? Let us know in the comments. I encourage you to check out the other videos linked in the description to learn even more. Want one of these MMIs for your BMW Mini or Supra? Head on over to our site and enter your VIN to get the correct kit for your BMW. Have any more questions about the MMI? Well, you can always reach out to our sales team via chat on our site or by calling. Already have the MMI and have any questions about the install or anything else, you can reach out to our support team with your order number and they will be eager to assist. But as always, for more tips and tricks, product reviews, and so much more for BMWs, Minis, and Supras, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell. Want to know what's happening first? Head on over to our site and sign up for our newsletter. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Thanks for watching.